Hey guys, welcome back to AmSamFam.
We're coming to you guys today from the top of Whangasaw Pass, which is the pass that goes from Pongo Pongo to Whangasaw, and it's a really cool spot.
You can see behind us is the trail up to Mount Lava, and that other direction you can see the stairs leading up to Matafao.
It's like the real life version of Chutes and Ladders going that direction.
Which we still haven't done that trail, and I cannot wait to. Huge shout out to the National Park Service. They have just spent so much time clearing that trail and getting it ready and accessible to everybody. So watch for that video to come soon.
Now, before we jump into the video that we have planned for you today, we want to apologize. We've been really irregular just recently about posting videos, and we're super sorry.
It's summertime, so the kids are out of school. We just moved on to our boat, and there is a forever long list of boat projects and just different things with life. We've been trying lately to at least post every other week. Be patient with us. We'll keep bringing you videos, and soon we'll get it up to every week again.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's get into our video. And for this video today, we're going to kind of shoot as we walk up this trail behind us towards Mount Lava. So let's go get to it.
This video is kind of a follow-up video to one we did recently about why we moved to American Samoa. Now, if you haven't seen that video, pause, go check it out. But if you have seen it and you just need a little reminder, the reasons we came to American Samoa, so especially Nate, he had some kind of loose ties to the Samoan culture, grew up in LA around a lot of Polynesian people, and he had always had this dream to live in the South Pacific. And for all of us, we were just kind of tired of, the American dream and looking for something different. We wanted out of the rat race. We wanted our kids to be able to experience something other than just the little echo box that we had grown up in and that they were currently growing up in. We wanted something new and something different for ourselves and for our kids. And so we moved to American Samoa.
So then you might ask yourself, what's the difference between why we moved to American Samoa and why we're talking about staying here? But trust me, there is an important distinction there. And it really revolves around the fact that a lot of Palangis, or I guess, off-islanders, will come here to American Samoa. They'll come on a 2-year contract to work for the government as doctors or lawyers. But most of these people hit the end of the 2 years and they leave. And honestly, that was kind of our plan at first. In fact, when I first moved here, I was kind of counting down the days that I was here. I was like, okay, I've been here 2 days, 3 days. I've been here a week. I've been here 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I kind of had it in mind that I've got this end date, this 2 years away end date, and I've got to make it to that. And actually, I don't know, it's some weird psychological thing. It's not like I wanted to leave badly, but I felt the weight of like a long obligation ahead of me. So I kind of was getting antsy, and I was ready to leave American Samoa. Somewhere along the way, I can't even tell you when, I stopped counting the days, the months, the years, and I just started living, and I think that we all did.
So that's not to say that even those first few weeks and months that we didn't fall in love with this place. I think if you guys have been following us for very long, you guys will know that we did fall in love pretty quickly. We went out and we were going to beaches. American Samoa was this change, this different place that we were looking for. It's a whole new landscape. I remember taking the kids on this hike up Mount Lava and looking at these plants, this foliage around us, and thinking, back in the States, people buy silk plants that look like these because they're so cool. And here we have them growing all around us. The other thing that really stuck out to us was just the friendliness of people. We would be walking down the road and people would pull over, hey, you guys need a ride? Oh, jump on in. And they would give us a ride wherever we were going. So back in the States, we would never do that. Like hop a ride with a stranger? No, thank you. Especially not with our kids. But here it's just what everybody does because everybody is so friendly and generous. So those are the things that we first fell in love with about American Samoa. And that didn't go away. as we gained a deeper and greater love for American Samoa, we still love coming out and hiking through the trails. We still go to the beaches, and we love snorkeling here.
Our love for American Samoa grew deeper than that veneer that's on the surface that's beautiful, that is the scenery, the beaches, the oceans, the really nice people. Those are all great, but those were that shiny veneer that made it kind of pretty. But American Samoa is so amazing all the way through, and there's more than just those veneer type things that made us want to dig our roots deep into the culture, into the economy, and want to build our lives here forever.
So the first thing that really, like that deep root that we found here in American Samoa, is when we realized that these nice people were becoming more than just friends or neighbors. We haven't had any family move here, but I'll tell you what, now after being here for a few years, we definitely have family here.
And that family has come through places like church. Church is so huge here in American Samoa. If you haven't seen some of our other videos, we talk about that quite a bit. Coming here, we joined in at the local congregation, and that has been amazing. We've made great friends and even had like professional opportunities come up because of the friends that we've made through that.
We've also just met people over the course of life here, people that we met out in the community through volunteer programs that we help out with, or through the races. You know, the kids and I love to do the races that South Pacific Water Sports put on, and just different community events that we've been a part of.
I don't know how many people Melinda's met at the library. She'll take the kids to the library, and at first, I swear, it was every week she was coming back and saying, "Hey, I met these great people at the library. We're gonna go hang out on Friday." Okay, I hope they're cool. And they've always been cool. We've always really been lucky in meeting people out in public. And this is funny, but you always recognize other Palangis here on island, and if you don't recognize them, you're like, what's going on with that? Why are they here?
What's your story?
And pretty soon you just keep wondering, who are they? And eventually you're gonna run into them someplace in a way that you get to actually be like, hey, I've seen you around. So what's going on? What you doing here? What's happening? And it's just such a easy, fast way to make friends. And before we know it, we're like at a beach together one weekend, hanging out. We have made lifelong friends. Some have even left and aren't on the island anymore, but we still consider them great friends.
We've had a few sets of grandparents come through here
Yeah.
for our kids. We still love you, Mom, Dad, Nate's mom and dad, but we've had some good foster grandparents while we've been here.
What's been kind of funny about living here, and kind of the other side of the same coin here, maybe this sounds like a bad thing, but it's kind of been a positive experience for us, is we've met so many people that are very transitory, that are here for a trip or some work assignment, and they're going to be leaving. We've met sailing families that we've gotten really close with and become really great friends with that then left in a couple of weeks. We've met people that are here visiting national parks or on some adventure or another that we've ended up meeting with and spending like a lot of time with for 2 or 3 weeks and becoming like kind of lifelong friends, sort of close relationships. And then they have to take off, and it's been something that has been, it's hard every time and it's sad every time it happens, but we see in our kids that they're becoming more resilient. They're understanding that friends are easy to make, and you take them with you even after you're not together anymore, and they're better at making friends faster, and they're good at understanding the nature of friendship, how friends come and go into your life sometimes, and you make the best of the time that you have together.
The second route that we have been able to grow here is a professional route, that we've been able to make connections here that have helped us in our professional lives here. You know, I'm going to be honest, I have a wanderer soul, and when we came here for 2 years, I came here for 2 years, and sometimes I'll give Nate a hard time. Hey, remember how this was supposed to be like the first stop of our trip of exploring the world, and remember how we're still here? Don't get me wrong, I love it, but sometimes I just get this itch, like I want to still go experience some more places. And Nate's always like, but we've made these connections here. We've got job opportunities for life because of these friends who have become family. We could stay here forever because we've got this security net ourselves and for our kids as they grow up, they'll always have connections to this place as well.
I mean, professionally, I'm an economist professionally, and nobody else on the island really truly does what I do, and so it's great. I mean, I'm in demand. People want me to come help them with things, and it's the kind of job security basically that you don't have most places. Most places there are a number of people that do what you do, and someone's always looking to, get more, and you got to be careful. And here we're still careful. We still respect everything, but we feel more safe in our jobs here. We feel more safe that no matter what happens, we'll be okay. And a good example is that I recently was working someplace here and lost the job. It was a change of circumstances. They didn't want me to work in that job anymore. And that could be really scary most places. It could be like, oh no, I'm out of work. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive? What's going to happen? But it was never for a moment was it scary for us, because I knew exactly what I could do. I said, listen, I know what people need here from my skill set, and I feel like I can make money doing it. And it's true, because right as soon as word broke that I was no longer working with that company, I got a bunch of phone calls, people that said, hey, we need an economist, we'll be happy to hire you, or we got some work for you. And I got a lot of work right off the bat. And that's the kind of opportunity that most people really strive for in life, and they work to build up that kind of reputation. They work to build up that kind of a security net, and a lot of times people don't find it, but we have that here. And Melinda, she's written the travel guide, which, by the way, go pick up a copy of it. It's so great. And she's built her reputation here as being like so good at these videos, good at marketing, great at writing. One of the best people to talk to about tourism in the territory, and she really has been rising as this star in that arena, and it makes us really feel committed to American Samoa. And so the third route that we've built here in American Samoa, deep down, that really anchors us to this place, is the fact that we can live so well here in ways that people in most of other developed countries are just striving to live. And I really mean that through the lens of like affordability. This isn't the cheapest place in the world to live, but you can live here really, really inexpensively. Yeah, I mean, we were lucky enough when we first came here that we got the right job set up that helped us with housing, and since then we've always lived in fairly modest homes, and now we're living on a boat, which is very inexpensive, but you can live eating local foods and doing local things that just don't cost a lot of money. And a funny story about this is when we were first looking at moving here, I found somebody from Idaho, where we moved from, through LinkedIn, that happened to be working here in the Attorney General's office. And I didn't know him, but I wrote him just to kind of say, hey, could you give me some ideas about what it's like there? Because there's no AmSamFam on the internet back then to look at to figure out what's up with American Samoa. Keep remembering what he said was, look, things aren't cheap here, but we found that we've saved a lot of money here because really there's just nothing to spend money on. And that actually sounded horrible to me at first. When I heard that, I thought, that just sounds like boring. There's nothing to spend money on. It's kind of exactly right, though. There really is. I mean, you just run out of things to spend money on. There's only one movie theater. If you've seen the movie playing in there, then you might not get another opportunity for a few more weeks. So you're not spending money on that. There's not like malls where you're going and just shopping, endlessly. You don't put that much money in your car for gas because you don't drive very fast. There's not very far you can go. Like we've said in other videos, and this is really important to me, you don't have to try to keep up with the Joneses here. So you're not spending as much money on clothes or backpacks or the latest, coolest cell phone or any of those kinds of things because, your coworkers have this, and so you kind of want to have it, or your kids come home from school and say, hey, I don't have like the latest shoes. American Girl doll that costs like $400 and all my friends are making fun of me for it. It's just not a thing here. And so you don't have to feel pressured to spend that kind of money. And it is so amazing and freeing and kind of addicting. So we can't stand the idea of going back and having to live more expensively. And anywhere you are, I mean, obviously you don't have to do the keep up with the Joneses thing, but
it's easier here.
It's just easier not to even have to try to here.
So our our next route is related to the last one about affordability, but we wanted to keep it separate because in our minds it is another separate huge reason why we have decided to stay here in American Samoa, and that is healthcare. Now, when I say healthcare, we might not have like the most state-of-the-art equipment or world-class surgeons, but what we have here is more than enough for the needs of our family.
Now, without getting political, we basically have socialized healthcare here in American Samoa, which is crazy because this is part of the United States of America, and we have this kind of single-payer system. It's mostly funded through Medicaid and Medicare, but if we go to the ER here, it costs us $20 for a kind of just a little copay, and that's it. I mean, that covers all the medication that comes with it. That covers almost everything.
I posted a while back that Kip was in the hospital, and he was there for 4 days? Had a surgery. He was in the hospital, and meals and nurses coming and changing his dressing and stuff, and total cost was like $100.
I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, socialized medicine means you wait in lines for, 10 hours to get one Advil, or, those kinds of like horror stories that you hear. And I'm not going to say that's completely untrue, because there have been times that we've had to go to the ER for something, and it was a little thing that we thought, we just need to get through this fast. There's not really an option just to call a doctor. We got to go through the ER for this, and we end up sitting in there for 8 hours waiting for it. But that's really not normal. We usually get pretty fast service, pretty good service. The doctors and nurses are just amazing.
Awesome.
They're so helpful and they're so great. It's true that they can't do everything here, so be aware of that. We've had some friends that had some little medical things that seem like they should be an easy fix, but they've had to go off island to have fixed, some ligament surgeries and things like that. So it's not perfect, but it's really good and totally sufficient for our family's needs. And we don't have to worry about one broken leg breaking our finances and taking out savings that we've been working on for a decade. And holy cow, how can we leave that?
Well, and for us as parents, it's just not a question of can we afford to take our child in for this or for that. That's not a concern one single bit. For us, that makes a big difference for us. I'm tired of sitting on this rock. Bum's getting a little sore. Yeah.
Let's walk back. The next reason that we've made our roots nice and deep here in American Samoa, and it's really won us over, and we've decided to make this our forever home, is the unparalleled safety of living here in American Samoa.
Now this means like natural safety. Like there are no predators here. Not really, maybe. Okay, so we've heard reports that there are some big bull sharks in the harbor that everybody keeps warning us about, and we are being aware of them. But when I say that, I mean like there are no lions or tigers or bears. There are no snakes. I'm not just talking poisonous snakes. Snakes are like one of my biggest fears, and so to be in a place with no snakes makes a huge difference to me.
There are spiders, which I don't like, but none of them are particularly venomous. There are some pretty scary big ones here, like the huntsman spiders, and if you're from the south of the equator anywhere, you'll know what I mean. They're just big and freaky looking, but they're not particularly dangerous.
And beyond that, I'm talking like human interaction kind of safety. We feel comfortable letting our kids play outside without, building a wall around our yard to keep our kids safe, because there's no child abduction here. There's no such thing as, human trafficking. It just doesn't happen here. It's not something we've ever worried about. It's not something that I think we will ever worry about.
I go walking all the time at night. It's kind of my thing to do, is I will go out at night, and that's when I like to do my walks. It's cool. It's not as many people or cars out. It's nice to do. And there's no place in this territory where I would feel uncomfortable going and walking at night. Like somebody out there is going to see a Palangi dude walking around and try to jump me and steal my cell phone or something like that. Nobody here does that. It's a very safe place.
There was a while ago, I remember reading just like all these reports about not just in the mainland US, but other places too, where women going out running were being abducted or being attacked. There too, it's never something I consider here.
To be very honest, there is kind of some issues here with like a lot of domestic abuse and some sexual abuse, and those are definitely issues that are everywhere, and they're definitely here. But again, those don't extend to us, and we very much have like a layer between us and any of those issues happening. So for us, it feels like the safest place we can be in the world. Forget the fact that there's no coronavirus here, and there's never been a single case here.
Never.
And so talk about safety. I mean, we have not had to worry about one of the worst diseases that have hit the earth in 100 years. It's not been an issue for us here. And that's the kind of safety that I think people all over the world right now would pay huge money to be able to enjoy. And we just get to enjoy it because we've been here. The final reason that we've really made our roots here in American Samoa and that we've decided to stay here is not something we can define very well. It's kind of an X factor that honestly covers a lot of things.
When it's been rainy and you look out across the landscape, the mountain range, you can see every layer of mountain because the sun hits these different mountains differently because of the humidity in the air, I guess. And I'm sure you can see that other places in the world, but I've never seen it before. And to me, that's something special about this place.
And honestly, it's just what it's like underneath the water here. It's different than anywhere else. You go under the coral structures, the kinds of fish you see, probably not even that unique, but it feels different here. It feels special here. And it's walking down the street and some of the smells you smell from the barbecue places and it's some of the people that you see on a regular basis while you're driving around that you never even know who they are, but you see them over and over and you recognize them and you start to even become kind of fond of them without even knowing their name or what the story is with them. And
it's waking up every morning and being able to see that sunrise over the ocean. And now that we're in the harbor, it comes right up over Rainmaker and still reflecting off of the ocean. It's something that I would dream of experiencing on a vacation or something. You find a tropical island you want to go vacation at. But here it's literally every morning, this is what we get to wake up to.
And it's 1,000 other things. And you know, all of these things you can probably find other places, but the combination of them and how they all work together, it just works so well for us. And we often joke that we should have ended here, not started kind of our adventurous lifestyle here, because this is where we want to end up. And the idea of leaving here and going somewhere else just seems like crazy. Why would we ever go anywhere else besides American Samoa? What could be better? We
talk about where else could we go? Yes, I've got a wanderer spirit, and so I do still have other places that I want to explore and experience. But for sure, this is, where else can we find all these things together that also it just feels like home? So even if we do leave American Samoa someday, I have a feeling it will only be for a short period of time, and we'll ultimately end up back here because this is home. Yeah. Well guys, I hope this is giving you a little bit more information about not just American Samoa, but about us as people and our family, and maybe you've kind of seen some of yourself in our story and the reasons that we've decided to live where we live. And we'd love to hear more about your stories, and so tell us below if you found that place for you that meets all the criteria and has established itself as important enough for you to build those deep roots. I've always said I don't think American Samoa is for everybody, and so if you watch this and these things didn't send off a bell in your mind saying, oh my gosh, that sounds like the perfect paradise for me, that's okay. That's cool. This island isn't big enough to hold the whole world population. But if it did ring true to you and it made you think, maybe I could feel at home in that place too, then drop us a note. You can find us over on Facebook or Instagram at AmSamFam, and we would love to talk to you about American Samoa and how we were able to move here. And you can let us know if you'd like another follow-up video about how we made the move here to American Samoa.
Now this is fun. We've met a lot of people just in the last few months or so since flights have started to open back up that have watched our videos, either as a direct result of our videos or because they're going to be moving here anyways, have moved back and really got a lot of use out of our videos, and that's so awesome. And it really excites us to meet people like that. If you're going to be moving here, if you came across this because you got a job opportunity, you're going to come here, let us know, and we would love to connect with you and answer any questions, or at least meet up with you when you get here and go have a fun day at the beach.
And you know, we've been hearing a rumor that the borders might be opening soon. So if you're somebody who has been waiting, we're not saying this for sure because it hasn't come out for sure.
We don't get to make these decisions.
But there's a rumor that the borders will be opening soon. So you might have that chance, whether to visit family, to come back home, or if you're just somebody who has a passing interest in American Samoa, you want to come see the national park, soon. It sounds like it's going to be soon, so keep your eyes and ears open. We'll make sure to announce it here as soon as we hear an official word about the borders opening.
If you guys like this video, do make sure to give us a thumbs up, and if you're not already, please subscribe to our channel so you can see more videos like this and see all the other adventures that we go on here on this island.
And if you are coming, make sure to hop on over to Amazon and get yourself a copy of Explore American Samoa, the complete guide to Tutuila, Aunuu, and the Manua Islands.
Guys, thanks again for joining us on this video today. Until next time, we're going to say Tofa Soifua.
Tofa Soifua.